one with a powerful message that has moved through me today, that not only spoke of my own personal journey, but of one that so much of the collective is going through. A vibration so powerful, moving through the earth and our energetic grids, that it is creating the collapsing of loops, the changing of timelines, and the alchemization of situations that were not expected, yet showed us that we had the power and ability all along. And it is now time to collapse what no longer serves, collapse the old, and build a more stable, beautiful golden loop of true joy and happiness and everything that we have sought to create and manifest through our journey, through our path, and through our dedication. And as I'm sure those of you who follow the sun weather have seen, the earth has been pelting us with a consistent amount of solar particles, geomagnetic storms, solar flares, more than usual, especially in the geomagnetic department, with the corona holes in the sun being much bigger than usual, co-rotating regions of solar wind happening, and just constant notifications of how much we are basically being vibrated, because the sun is sending energy to our planet at this time of massive transition, because it is finally time. Well, the time has come to really implement major changes in many of our lives, because so many of us are tired and exhausted from the intensity of all we have been through. And of course, for others, there may have been more of an increase of happiness and love and joy and acceptance of all that is going on. Because chaos is funny like that. For some, it uplifts, and for others, it moves incredible amounts of densities through our lives and our journeys to alchemize, so that together, in both of these expressions and experiences of the chaos, we can come together and finally balance it. Well, bring a balance to it for those who are here at this time. For we are all changing the world into a new way of being. And we must have these experiences, these vibrations, and all that is happening in order to shift it into what we came here to shift it into, however that may play out. So now, I have pulled some cards on this. Oh, that was powerful. I've really felt that. There is a rainstorm, an energy, and so many collapsings of loops and timelines happening and shifts. So I pulled some cards on this to see what the energy spoke of, to see what the skulls wanted to say. I even brought in Mercury, who is under the candle illuminating his energy, and he is holding the staff of Hermes to really connect into that energy, and many other supportive stones, singing the rain, the lightning, and even the intensity of energy through my own understanding of the alchemy at play in not only my situation but in many others. Albert is here, Einstein, for the quantum field connection and fluctuations and understandings. My newest skull star is here for the galactic connections, the understandings of our blueprints, and the Earth star that we came here to connect to. And of course, Sanat, a man of Venusian energies, the sun, because Sanat, he wanted Sanat to be spelled S-U-N-A-T instead of S-A-N-A-T, so we knew that his connection was that of the sun. He brings clarity, illumination, and great change, and has been with me for several years now, and many journeys, illuminating our mind, connecting us to the universal knowledge through the rainbows in his cranium that shine with more reverence when he is actually happy. And of course, this amazing unknown stone that has a matrix in it that I actually found myself called to, not knowing I was being called, here in this area where I live now, buried next to a tree. And I went to pick it up at sunrise. I was just called to go out at sunrise, and I went to pick it up thinking it was trash to throw away, and it was a deeply buried, unknown, actually quite clear rock. I just have it at a different angle, and once I cleaned it, it had an incredible matrix on the top portion of it, made of multiple different squares, a roughness on the bottom, a smoothness on the side, some sort of calcite, but it does that even calcite doesn't feel right. But I knew it had called to me because I had never gone out that early in the morning, and I just got the come outside, greet the sun. Walk through the trees, walk through the trees. And there she was. And his sense connected me to so many things in so many ways. And so, with these very powerful energies, with so many of these energies, they just felt very supportive for the message that came through, which is quite powerful. Okay, so let's get into it, you guys. Oh, so I read images more, scry the images from the card, than I do reading directly from the book, for I find them to be more accurate in this way, using my knowledge of scrying. So we are at a beginning. We knew who we were, but we have now changed. We are a new person, beginning a new path, carrying the knowledge of what we know will help us on this new journey, following our intuition and our guidance as we step into what is calling us, this galactic portal. And though we do not know what may be on this other side, we are ready and have been, for we are no longer the same. Many of us have been through significant changes and are ready to see what we truly can bring into this world. And this portal, it calls to our heart, our galactic origins, the stars, the beauty of the soul, and the unknown. And what caused us to finally say, I'm ready for a new path, was the fact that even as we tried to spread our knowledge through love, compassion, kindness, helping those who we felt we were close with, those who have great significance to us, oftentimes it was in vain, because these words of knowledge or love or compassion, or just even saying, hey, I'm here for you, were seen as acts of aggression, no matter how kind or loving your intentions were. Being unseen and seen as a darkness instead of a light, because often these are these people who, the ones we are trying to really be there for, are the people who have so much anger and rage within them that almost any form of help, something they have never truly known, for they have grown up not knowing what true unconditional love was, and always having to defend themselves. So when faced with this true and unconditional love, it is seen as a form of attack. And so no matter what knowledge or love or compassion we try to give to these people, it is often in vain, because it is seen as darkness. And this has been a painful process. And this is where we must remember and know, and many of us do know this, for the collective that does resonate with this, for the people who are resonating with this, we knew that the reliance on our spirituality was a form of being able to handle these harsher experiences with those who refuse to see us for the truth of who we are. And so we relied on the energies of the crystals, minerals, supplements, nature, and the spirituality which we know can help us move through these tougher times. And not only our spirituality, but those true bonds those one or two, sometimes three bonds of people who see you for exactly who you are, your true support, always holding space for you in all of your forms and all of your phases, without judgment, allowing space for you to be you and to speak of your stories and your pains and still love you and see the true you, see your heart and love you for exactly as you are. For they know your authentic self. They know you are a beautiful being in all forms. Our support team. And it is through our becoming our new selves, stepping through that unknown portal, having been brought to this place of being like, I'm ready for change. I'm ready for change through the harshness we experienced, and relying on our spirituality and our support team, the real G's. That has helped us to fully work on that which we have always really wanted in life, what we have been truly passionate about. They have given us that space to really work through the mechanics and the knowings to speak on what we really feel, which gave us the room to really think and see what we needed, what mechanics we needed to move through to build what we are really wanting to build. Our spirituality and our support, giving us that space to learn what we need to learn. And because we were able to be vulnerable and bare, if from in front of these people, in front of these friends, we ultimately came to see that we have had this within us all along. That through the hardships that we have been through, the stepping through the portal, the spirituality, the harshness, that we had this within us all along, because we had the support to show us the truth and vulnerability of who we really are. And that through this process, we had been working on it and gaining the elements the entire time. Because as we were doing this, we were going through the void, the densest part of the void. Hence the reason why we took the steps we did and had to rely on our spirituality and our friends and our support. Because we were ending a cycle. We stepped through that portal to end this cycle that keeps us going nowhere, to begin the transition into a new beginning. And of course, in these moments, it is the most dangerous time in the course of events, and should be respected with reverence and caution. Because oftentimes these dark spaces are filled with depression, anxiety, and apathy, where we feel disconnected and careless, even if it's just for a time, feeling lost even, until our support can bring us back into remembering we're okay, we can get through this, bringing us the balance we need, the spirituality, the support, bringing us the balance we need to hold on just a little bit longer as we move through the darkest and densest part of the void. It is through this experience that even though it's just for a short time, it holds the greatest power and requires the most immense discipline. This is why the support team and the spirituality has been so incredibly important. Because in those moments when it was the darkest and we weren't sure we had the discipline, us being able to lay bare and be fully whole, immersed, even in the sadness and the darkness and the feelings of confusion and being lost, they helped us to remain centered. Even through the restless discard. But the good news is, as always, the good news is we are always assured that the darkness will give way to light, and the time to move forward again will present itself. And I honestly feel that this has happened because we have finally gathered all of the elements needed through this transition to create lead into true and stable gold. And even if we were unable to see that these elements were being gathered, this alchemy was happening, this transition into our mission, into why we are really here, why we came to this earth, was being gathered through these experiences. This is why we had the support and the knowing and the ancient knowledge of how to move through this, because this is one of the biggest transformations of our lives unfolding on a collective level, on a personal level, and whatever level may be true for you. And now we have finally come to where we turn that lead into gold. We have all that we need. We hold the remaining elements in our hands, and we must simply place them into the formula to turn this lead into stable gold that continues to produce, that continues to bring more gold, make more gold, bringing us to a true place of prosperity, the fulfillment of why we are here, the changing of ourselves, of the earth, of everything that we have come here for, and really seeing out our mission. For now it is time to leap. It is time to take the plunge. And we have been motivated through the harshness of all of this. All of this has served as a beautiful catalyst to motivate us, to give us that extreme passion to finally turn this lead and use all the elements gathered into the gold we have sought for so long. Through the overwhelm of everything, we now can tap into our faith, our knowledge, and our knowing that it is time to take the plunge, that it is time to truly leap. It is time to turn that lead into the gold that will change our lives forever, where we can know what true love is, true joy, true happiness, a truly fulfilling life, free of extreme fears and worries. For we have come to the end or are just about to exit. And we see that light, and we now know what we need to do. The elements, using the last bit of elements in this alchemy, this chemistry, and placing them in just the right places to finally step onto the new path that was there all along, that took courage. We used our courage to take that first leap into the unknown galactic portal. And now we can finally be free, happy, joyful, prosperous, and just everything that we have worked so hard for. We just must remember to remain in faith. And if we do find ourselves faltering or having to work out any impurities in this gold, always go back to your support team, your support table, your spirituality, your inner knowing, and all that you have learned through this to further refine it and stabilize it, because we already have it, you guys. We already have it. There may be a few kinks to work out, but we have it. And we now have all that we need in place to ensure that we have real gold, to ensure that we are doing exactly what we are meant to do, fulfilling our mission as to why we came here to this earth. So much heart love, so much heart expansion. Do not forget who you are, and always remember, we always have a choice. There is hope, and we are more free than we have ever been taught. And that true love, unconditional love, is real. And you can really live the truly prosperous and successful life you have always wanted, no matter where you are on your